It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Good Tuesday morning. It's election day. So you know, of course, it's raining. Isn't that the way it always works? I confess I voted early. But these are important primary elections, so folks, brave the rain. I don't know, is this supposed to continue like this all day? Let me just take a quick look, and I'm going to try to trust the Apple app. Most of the time I use the Channel 5 weather app, just so you know, but this one's easier. Looks like the rain is going to end around 3 o'clock for a while. So you got from 3 to 7, and then it starts raining again at 8, and I don't think it stops raining till tomorrow morning. Not even then. 10:45 when we'll be on the air, it'll still be raining. So get to the polls between 3 and 7 tonight. That is our public service announcement of the day. Number one seeds continue to just find it tough in the NBA. I give Wemby a lot of credit. Landon Schmidt, the guy had a triple-double, set a record for blocks in a playoff game. 12 blocks. That's a triple-double with 12 blocks. Do you know what else he did for the first time? He did not hit a three. And Anthony Edwards, just back from injury, spelled a big difference there. And the Minnesota Timberwolves take the advantage in the NBA playoffs by a 2-point win. Actually, San Antonio had a pretty good look from three-point range at the buzzer. Didn't go in. Timberwolves win 104-102. I don't understand this. I really don't. I heard somebody say, the smart guy, who was asked right before Game 7 between Philadelphia and Boston, who the New York Knicks would rather play. And this guy goes, oh, not even close. They want to play the Boston Celtics. Their team is built to beat the Boston Celtics. With 76ers, you got a big man inside. Makes it more difficult. Who's really good in Embiid. And they don't want to face them. Well, here's what happened. Game 1 in the Garden last night. Crazy. It was close for about the first quarter, and that was it. The Knicks just overpowered the 76ers. Couldn't hit a shot. 137-98. Now, I am not going to go crazy. I am not going to say this is going to be a one-sided series. I got to see one game in Philly before I would say that. But I truly, Landon, I'm curious about you. I was really surprised at the one-sidedness of this. I thought this would be a back-and-forth game, much like Minnesota and San Antonio was. I did not expect this rout. This was disheartening for the 76ers.
Yeah, I think I was kind of alluding to it a little bit yesterday. I feel like a lot of that juice was put in round 1 of these playoffs, and I still think that the Sixers are going to pull away a couple of games in this series, but I don't think they come out the other side as victorious, but I don't know. I just don't think they have the caliber on their team. I mean, Joel Embiid, he can return to form, but I think that's what gets him 2 games. Outside of that, I don't see them winning anything more.
Well, last night, let's see, Embiid was 3 of 11. He struggled last night. He looked like, I swear in that Boston series, he looked like he was the guy from 3 years ago, looked nimble and fast and everything. He did not look that way last night. Another guy, Edgecombe, who's been so good for them. A lot of people thought he should have been in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. He looked rather pedestrian last night. Of course, you're playing in Madison Square Garden, and it's got to be irritating to see some of those guys like Spike Lee. Spike Lee gets right in their face. I don't know how, if you're a player, you don't want to just take a whack at the guy. But That was one-sided for sure. Tonight will be fun. Tonight you're going to have your Cavaliers against the Pistons. You did pick them to get to the finals, did you not?
I did.
And my Boston Celtics already out of it, so you're ahead of me on that one.
Well, I think I also chose the Nuggets to go far, and they are also out.
Yeah. I have OKC winning it all, so I'm still in the ballpark here. Minnesota's intriguing because Ant's such a good player. Gobert can give you such good defense. Wembanyama just looked tired last night. I know he got a triple-double, but he just looked tired last night. And then you got the Lakers and the Thunder in the nightcap, and that is the beginning of that series. And it's in OKC. I wonder, when will LeBron look like he's 41 years old?
I don't think it's going to happen.
And when is Lucas supposed to come back in this thing?
I think the expectation was to be at some point during this series with OKC. I knew he was going to miss round 1. I don't know how far he's going to miss in round 2.
I think to win this round, they'll need him.
Absolutely. I agree.
We shall see about all of that. Aaron Bradshaw. This is, to me, an intriguing story. Jason Munz is going to join us, final segment of the show. We'll ask him a little bit about it. So he signs yesterday with Nolan Smith, who I like quite a bit. But Nolan Smith is the head coach of Tennessee State of the OVC. This is a guy who, coming out of high school, was a McDonald's All-American. He's 7'1". He has long arms. He can jump out of the gym. He does not have good hands. That's part of his problem. But he's 7'1" and can jump out of the gym. He started because he was the number 2 high school player and a McDonald's All-American. He started at Kentucky. That didn't work well. He got a second chance at Ohio State. That didn't work out. He came here for his junior year. Started slow. Started to get it. Had an injury. Never really returned from the injury. I believe he wanted to stay here. Memphis needs a big man. We're going to go over that with Munzie, too. The Tigers got a big in Cornelius Williams, but is he they've got 2 open roster spots. And I should let you know, a little program now, Joe Dank is off tomorrow. Penny Hardaway is going to be our guest at 10:25 tomorrow. Penny has 2 spots open. I know he wants to use one for a big. I'll ask him this point blank tomorrow. I think he wants to save one roster spot for any mid-season maneuvering, just like he did with Naquan Tomlin, if you recall, a couple of years ago. It's a smart idea. Now that you've got 15 men on your roster, 14 is fine. One spot open for flexibility can go a long way, and it's one less player you got to worry about paying money to until you got to pay him. So I think he's going to keep that spot open. They need a big, and by the way, there's a war, and we'll talk with Munzie about this too. There is a kid, Matt Mbole, who is a junior college big. So I think Memphis brought him in, and they were no longer interested after they saw him worked out. So he went to UAB. And when he got to UAB, he took a shot at Memphis, saying he thought his chances of development were better there. Memphis's coaching staff had a retweet or whatever they call it. Deloach did, and he basically, I don't know what he implied. Then Andy Kennedy got in and made the insinuation that Memphis buys players, UAB develops players. We got war words going on between the Tigers and the Blazers. That's what rivalries are all about. I'm in perfect harmony with that. But Aaron Bradshaw apparently was out of options. Let's be totally honest. I think Aaron Bradshaw made anywhere between $600,000 and $800,000 last year. He was the second highest NIL guy on the team, behind Doug McDaniel. Zach Davis was third, talking about a waste of money. Anyway, Bradshaw, I can't believe he signed for anything but about 10% of what he got last year at Tennessee State. I know he wanted to stay here. I thought there was a chance he was going to stay here a few weeks ago. Something happened. I don't know what it is. But the Tigers definitely really were no longer interested, even though they need a big. That just tells you how far Aaron Bradshaw had fallen and how limited his options were. Because honestly, I can't believe he's making more than 60 to 80,000 at Tennessee State. And Lord knows how much he was making at Kentucky when he first signed there, or even Ohio State. So my hope for him, because I liked Aaron. I think he actually was a nice guy. Whatever it is, it could be his weekly, daily habits of the way he works out or takes care of himself. Or his love for the game. Whatever it may be, I hope Aaron Bradshaw is able to shake off whatever his distractions and deficiencies are. He's got to develop hands. That's one of the first things. I don't know if he can. But look at Musa Cisse. He's in the NBA because he figured out a different role. And maybe that's what Bradshaw can do with his other athletic abilities. I hope he takes advantage. I hope he gets this message. Because he limited his options all because of him. And uses the wisdom of Nolan Smith and whatever system they will put forth at Tennessee State and gives himself an opportunity to make money post-career. This will be his last year, but boy, did he ever limit his options. All right, so Landon Schmidt, the Grizz have the first pick. It'll be anywhere from 1 to, 10? I think that's right. 6 is what the position they have. Although usually it never moves up. It goes like to 8, I think, over the years. But those are all just odds, right? So let's just put them at 6. In that particular position, and the lottery is on Sunday, so you're going to know for sure. But there are guys, here are the point guards. I think you got to get a point guard because you're going to move John Morant. Mm-hmm. So I would because there are so many great point guards at the top of this class, I would use that pick on Acuff if he's available. And I know a lot of people don't think he's the top of the point guards. Some mocks have him as the top of the point guards. The NBA Draft.com, or is it, NBA Draft.net, excuse me, mm-hmm. which has been pretty good over the years. They've got Memphis taking Wagler. Kid from Illinois. I see that too. I love him. I wouldn't mind the kid from Houston, Flemings. I'm not as high on Mikal Brown, the Louisville point guard. I think he's a little inconsistent. I don't know that I'd want to use that pick on him. Mm-hmm. But I don't think if it's really 6, I don't think Acuff will be there, but Wagler or Flemings could be there. So I would use that pick, that number, that top pick. I would use that to get myself a point guard.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I think if Acuff is available by some chance, I mean, we saw, not trying to compare NBA and NFL, but we didn't expect a lot of, like, Arvell Reese, for example, to fall as far as he did. So the potential is there that a big name could be, right there for the picking for the Memphis Grizzlies. But I would prefer them to go that route. But with Keaton Wagler, I wouldn't mind him either. I mean, the dude can score. He can get your rebounds. He's a pretty big point guard / shooting guard. So I wouldn't mind that. But I think with that first pick, I think you go with kind of that skill position guy.
You know what? I think Wagler has so much upside. Mm-hmm. He's a true freshman, right? He's really skinny. You know he's going to put on weight. And you can't coach 6'6", right? You are or you aren't. Mm-hmm. I like that pick. I still think Acuff is going to become a great player. I know there was a lot of worry about his defensive deficiencies, but John Morant isn't the greatest defensive player in the world either. So
he has his flashes of some great blocks, but outside of that,
I think Acuff is going to be a great player. I really do. But I think he's gone. It just depends on the lottery thing. All right, here's the second pick, which is 16 the way it's slotted right now. Zach Kleiman is known to move up or down. What does Zach Kleiman do with that pick? Do you think he keeps it and maybe tries to get a backup for Zach Edey? Or does he trade that to maybe get somebody even better in that first pick.
Well, I think the Grizzlies are in a great position this year because in the top 32 picks, they have 3 selections for the draft. So I think ideally you can cover a lot of your needs early in the draft, like right from the get-go. So you'd get that point guard, that skill position at that first selection, and then either at 16 or 32, I think you could get your big man, because I don't think big men are going to be really heavy at the top. I think outside of maybe Cam Boozer or maybe Yaxel, if you even consider him to be a true big, outside of those guys, I don't see really anybody else. So I think I remember talking with DeMichael about that and saying maybe you spend your big on a later pick. So I can see us moving up with that 16th pick, maybe moving up and getting another guy to help, with the skill position, or you move back a little bit and maybe get something different.
Well, with that second pick where it is, you could get Yaxel. I think he'll be around then.
If he's there,
I am not.
With that
I
would
gotta
be
honest
incredible.
with you. I'm not totally sold on Yaxel. Now I know he had some really good coaching at Michigan, and he was really good with a great point guard and a great center. Okay? I'm not sold that he's going to be a great NBA player, and I can't get out of my head what Dane Danger did to him every time they played. And that was a big, intimidating guy. Now, Yaxel's really not a true 5. Most people have him as a 4. He can shoot. I'm not sold on him being a great player. I like the kid from Washington, Hans Steinbach. I tell you who I love is the big man at Michigan. If you could get him there, Ade Mara, I think that kid's going to be a really good NBA player. And he would be like the true backup to Zach Edey. If you could get him at that position, although I could, Zach Kleiman's history is to make trades. If you're looking at that 32nd pick, if that's where I think it ends up, I'll tell you who could still be around. I'm not sure that they would be, but the Arizona freshman, I love him, Koa Pete. Like most mock drafts have him anywhere around 28 to high second round. If he were still around, wow, that would be a great pickup. Joshua Jefferson, the 6'9", they play him as a small forward at Iowa State. The mocks have Today Yesufu, the 6'5" kid out of Baylor, is a shooting guard. The mocks have the Grizz taking him. You know who could still be around there? I don't know if you trust him, but Brazil, the Arkansas 3-4. He's an athlete. He's just so inconsistent. I'll tell you what else. If you were looking for like another backup point guard, I don't know what this guy will be like as a pro. I know he's smart. I know he plays well. I know he's got a great handle. He'll be available in that area. That's Braden Smith, the Purdue guard.
Yeah, I don't know, because even to your point when you mentioned Dane Danger, I mean, I just think about where he's at in the NBA right now, kind of chilling in the G League, and then you've got Musa Cisse, who's in rotation with the Bucks.
I know.
I mean, you really can never predict what these guys are going to do.
The bottom line is the NBA game and the collegiate game are two different
completely
ball
separate
games.
things.
They really are. Dane Danger was I'm going to say it. He ended up being a great college basketball player at the end of his career. That NCAA game that he had, it was against Colorado State, was fantastic.
Yeah.
They took PJ Haggerty out of it totally, and he just ran out of gas because they played him about 10 more minutes than they normally play him. I still lament that Hunter got hurt. That was really critical. But and, the bottom line is they're different. There's no way in the world. And I watched Musa Cisse play at Memphis, at Ole Miss, back at Memphis the second time where he's a lot more effective. But, you talk about a guy who didn't have hands. You just saw a great athlete, and he figured out exactly what the role is, or he got that from these NBA guys, and he plays that role. He's certainly not going to be a 25-minute, 28-minute rotation kind of a guy, but he comes in and he's going to play some minutes and play defense and rebound. He was a good shot blocker. I don't know. When you said that, does that make you worry about Yaxel Lindeberg?
I know that when you said that you had hesitations about
Yeah.
him being a good professional basketball player. I don't know. I think yes, he was pretty good in college, but I think it's up for debate on whether that all translates to the next
with
level.
you. I'm with you, and a lot of it is
really
because
hard.
when he was up against a big guy, he struggled. Now he won't be an inside player; he's going to be a stretch guy
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
he's going to have to be.
So I don't know. I think he's going to get taken in the first round. I
Oh,
really
he
do.
for sure will.
But
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's going to be.
I don't think it's going to be high.
Yeah,
but he may fall late. I don't know.
I would agree with that. We'll see, and we'll get about a clearer picture and talk more and more about this as time goes on, because that draft lottery is Sunday. I think it's in Chicago, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, Sunday, Chicago. We get the
Andy will have a lot
numbers.
on that.
Andy Shipman will have a whole lot of that on Friday. That is for sure. As we sit here in the Family Leisure Studios, a reminder, I know the chemical sales are going on, and I know with all the pollen and all of the wormies, I call them, the buds that have come off the trees, there's a lot of green pools around Memphis right now. But shock and the right chemicals, they all changed that. And guess who's got a chemical sale going on right now? Family Leisure, along with their hot tub and swim spa expo, which we are calling the Battle of the Brands, because going on through May the 10th. So we still got 5 more days. Hot tubs starting at $3,500. The swim spas, the big ones, they started under 17 grand. It's really these 7 brands trying to get your business, and they've lowered the prices. And if you mention us, you get a free cover lift with every purchase of a spa. So head on over, see Billy, see Lindsay at the great Family Leisure at I-40 and Whidden Road. We take a break. We're heading to Baton Rouge. What's going on with the SEC? I haven't talked to Ron Higgins about tournament expansion yet. We'll get his take on all of that. That comes your way momentarily.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I have worked with Sheldon Rosengarten for over 10 years and have noticed something about the way he works with his clients. He is way too honest, and they are grateful for us for pointing out things they were not aware of.
This is Sheldon, and yes, being honest has caused people to really think about what they need to do to sell their homes or when they buy. Kelly and I have advised people about what are the best and most economical things to do to prepare their homes for the market to get the best prices.
And Sheldon, we always provide our buyers with the necessary background research to advise them before they make an offer on a house. And yes, we have even sometimes talked clients out of buying, and they're grateful for us pointing out things they were not aware of.
So if you're thinking of buying a home, call or email Kelly or me, and before you list your home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure we are one of them.
Yes, remember to call me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830.
And when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Call us today.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Oh no, I dropped my lip balm in the water. I can't think of anything worse than the looming threat of potentially having chapped lips. It was ginger vanilla too, my favorite flavor.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Hi, I'm Ryan Saharovich, a proud partner with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've been fighting for Memphis families after serious accidents when insurance companies are trying to pay as little as possible. We don't back down. NST is the way to go.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Back in on this rainy Election Day Tuesday. Again, 3 to 7. Looks like the window where it will not be pouring down. We're headed, I don't know what the weather's like there, but I think they got rain in the forecast too. We're going to talk with our SEC historian, Ron Higgins, down in Baton Rouge. Good morning to you. What's your weather like?
It's probably right now 75 or 80, a little bit cloudy. It's supposed to rain in a couple of days. It rained over the weekend. But, no flooding, no hurricanes yet, so we're good.
No, that is good. That is for sure. All right. I got to ask you a little bit about the NCAA and the Power Four and really the SEC and the Big Ten, who have decided, and I think it's because they want more immediate money maybe from TV, and certainly they want more of their teams in. They have decided to expand the NCAA tournament, something that we think is pretty darn special, at 68 to 76. What is your gut feel as a guy who's been watching the NCAA tournament forever?
How many teams is it? Where's it going to end? I mean, it's every year it's something, it's something new.
Yeah. No,
can you hear me?
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Every year so it's 70 something now. Does that mean there's going to be an 80 something in a couple of years? I mean, it gets to a point where how much do you dilute the season, the regular season? Most of the teams from the first weekend don't make it to the second weekend. I mean, they've been lower seeds don't. You have very few Cinderellas, and now, especially with the way it's stacked with NIL, mid-majors really don't have a shot. So I guess this has got to be strictly for money. It's got to be. Yeah, you're right. It has to be strictly for money.
And this is not for Cinderellas. This is for the Powers to get more. You get so much per unit, and this was an interesting observation from Mike DeCourcy. We have him on Mondays, and he believes that most of the television experts are of the opinion that even though CBS and TBS Turner are paying as much as they are, about $1 billion a year, over $1 billion a year, they think it's undervalued. And this is a way to get those guys to pay a little bit more. There'll be an extension, but it won't be what the market bears. So these power guys, Sankey, Petiti, they're after immediate more money that'll up the the amount of $2 million per unit. Maybe it'll up it a little bit. Not what the value could really be if you brought streaming in, but it'll bring it up enough, and you'll be able to get more teams in at least the volume of $2 million.
Well, I understand, for revenue purposes, raise it up. But I don't know. To me, you always have to meet a certain standard to get the NCAA tournament, and now it looks like there's absolutely no standards whatsoever. They might just will kill out the NIT.
Well, the NIT's already been dead. I'll tell you what else, it kills the crown. So they had that Power 4 equivalent to the NIT that Fox put on. I don't know how successful it was. Yeah, but that'll do away with this.
They need to kill any other tournament now because if they want more teams in NCAA, this is. How many barely 500 teams are you going to want in this tournament? I'm sure this year Auburn would have got in if it was 78 teams or 70, 60, whatever it is.
76.
I'm not for keep expanding stuff. Just like the college football playoff. I want it past 16 teams. I'm sorry, I don't want it past there. They'd be we had this 24 team concept, which is absolutely ridiculous. But how much is too much? It's also, I'm thinking, maybe I'm old school. I'm thinking for about fans who actually want to attend these things of these schools. How many weekends do you got to go? In football or in basketball now. To me, it's getting to the point where, they're so hooked up on money they forgot about everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I think it'll end up being 16. I really do. 12 is okay with me as long, again, I'm an advocate for the small guys. As long as the group of now 6, when you count the new Pac-12, as long as they have an opportunity to play for one spot, I'm okay. I know if it goes to 16 or if it were to go to 24, that's going to be the same amount that the group of 6 are going to get in. 1. Okay. So you're basically saying how many more, if it's 24, how many teams can the Big Ten and the SEC get in? That's what this is all about. That's really what that's what, and I think this is more Petiti than it is Sankey. I think Sankey just wants it at 16.
Yeah, I know he wants 16, but he don't want to pass there. Everybody else is pushing for 24, which I think is just ridiculous. There's not 24 teams deserving who you really think can go to the playoffs and win a national championship. There just isn't. That's the whole thing. 24 teams. And I think it's a gluttony of punishment, gluttony of the Power 4 teams that think they should get 5 and 6 teams in. No. I'm sorry, you're not. I don't think an 8 and 4 team needs to be in there. 9 and 3, maybe, depending on who they lost to, but 8 and that's what you're asking. Let's get a bunch of 8 and 4 teams in the playoffs, and 9, and maybe a lot of 9 and 3s.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, I think you should be in the playoff unless you have more than 2 losses. That's just me.
Well, but I think they're also looking for more revenue because now they got to pay the players. We saw what is LSU going to spend this year? Did you say $44 million on football?
Oh yeah, they this past this year, one of those rosters this season probably almost 45, probably.
Wow! Yeah. And what is Will Wade going to spend on portal money?
They gave him $12 million.
$12 million. Wow. So you're talking about 45, 55, $57 million. Let's go one step further. What does the women's basketball coach have to have? Because she spends money on NIL too.
Yeah, I'm thinking they probably gave her at least $8 to $10 million, I guess.
So that's 67, let's just say. I know you guys spend money on baseball. I know you spend money on women's gymnastics. What do you think that total is?
Well, baseball goes to up the total for next year. I'm thinking you're looking close to $80 million for everybody. So
$80 million to salaries for players that never you get money, but now legally you're going to pay $80 million. You got to find revenue. That's why they want to expand these tournaments, because for each round that you get another unit. And with basketball, it's $2 million. I don't even know. I want to say the Big Ten revealed that the average school got $73 million last year.
Yeah.
And because Indiana advanced to the championship game, they got like in the 80s, something like that. So they're just trying to find ways for money, and all those NIL contracts. This was interesting, and I wonder what your thought about this would be. But a couple of weeks ago, and I've been meaning to talk with you about this, Dr. Ed Scott, the Tigers athletic director, put forth that maybe coaches who make a lot of money, maybe they ought to start using some of their own salary to pay the NIL contracts. I don't think any coach has really jumped at that, not at least at the University of Memphis. And frankly, let's be honest, the only guy that really could do that easily would be Penny Hardaway. I can't see Tim Reiser spending any of his money because I don't think he makes much more than $260 or something like that. I can't see the women's basketball coach, even though the one that got fired got a nice payoff. But I don't know if they're dipping into their salary, especially when they got a big family. I don't know. Maybe Charles Huff could put up a little bit. I don't see coaches buying that. What's your thought?
I can't see. I said mid-major coach doing that. Now Brian Kelly, he donated $1 million to his salary. Yeah, when he was here.
Didn't he do that? Hold on, I kind of remember that now. Didn't he do that in order to save his job when the heat was on for him to get fired? To go, I'll put up some money.
No, he did that over a year ago.
Okay,
he did that. Yeah, he did that. I think in December of 23. Yeah.
But how much money was he making?
Probably 8 or 9 million, 10 million. So he threw. He said, "Yeah, I'll throw $1 million, and I will put $1 million in." And if people match it, they matched it. So.
So basically, he took 10% of his money, and he put it to the players. Which I think if you've got a guy that you really want, and that's what it takes, that makes some sense to me. If you're really making quite a bit of money, but I don't see that happening even with lower end Power 4.
I agree. I agree with you. You got coaches who make say $4 or $5 million a year. They don't want to get away $1 million.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's talk SEC baseball really quick. This is amazing. Georgia's the number one team. I think they're 18-6 in the league. Right. So they're 75%. That's pretty good in the SEC. A&M's next at 15-8 with Texas. So both Texas schools. Auburn 16-10, Mississippi State 14-10. Then you got Alabama, Florida, and Arkansas 13-11. Vandy's under 500. Tennessee's under 500. LSU, a former powerhouse, is 9-15. What? We're seeing a shift here in the SEC baseball hierarchy. What's going on?
Just one of those years, man. A&M's always been, been on the verge. They've been right there. Texas has been right there. A lot of these teams, like Auburn, has been pretty good the last few years. The ones who have dipped probably the most: LSU, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Vandy. Arkansas, I don't know if it's a matter of NIL money or what. I know I've been told the Waltons don't give them any money, which is amazing to me. LSU is a matter of making bad portal buys. Make some bad portal guys, got some guys hurt. Some people didn't develop like they thought they would. And it's one of those rare years for LSU. I mean, this is just a rarity. They've won the national title 2 of the last 4 years. They won 8 national titles, and they usually expect to, being determined. They expect to get to Omaha, and this is they're in rare air this year where usually the month of May is an excitement for LSU. It's like May 1st is like bam. Like the starters going, okay, man, we're a month away. We're a month away from the NCAA tournament. Let's go. But they haven't been able to put it together any weekend. Tennessee, I think you missed Tony Vitello. He's a guy who kind of got your whole program together. Vandy, it seems to me their pitching has been great. Vandy's always been built on pitching, and they really haven't played well. But there's a lot of teams. A lot of teams knock off a lot of teams in this league. I mean, Ole Miss is 12-12, but I think they're a pretty good team. I mean, they're 13-17, but they're pretty good. Some really good pitching. Oklahoma's had its moments. Florida's had its moments. I mean, if you look at this thing, I mean, once you get past the top three, everybody else is under 60% of this league. Like a lot of, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 team in the 500 or above before you get to 3 above 600.
Right.
So it's
eight teams have at least 13 wins.
Yeah,
I think
that usually gets you in NCAA tournament. 13 wins usually gets you in the NCAA tournament. Even if you're maybe on the wrong side of 500 in the league, 13 wins usually gets you in the league play.
How many hosts? Do you think it's 5 that host?
Georgia, A&M, Texas, Auburn, and probably Mississippi State. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ron, as always, we'll keep our eye on that and talk with you again next Tuesday.
All right, well, take care. We'll see you.
Thank you. That is our SEC historian down in Baton Rouge. That is Ron Higgins. He's brought to you by Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. You ready to upgrade your home? You love where you are. And you see the prices and the interest rates, and you're going, I don't really want to move, but I want modern amenities. I want to remodel my house. I call it renovation with innovation because all the new modern amenities, the media room with the speaker in the walls, the California closets, the kitchen island, and everything that goes with it. You could put the little grill in the middle. I mean, all these modern things. Ken Garland, he's the expert at. Now, if you're looking for land to build a dream home, he's got that. Or if you've got land you're not sure how to utilize, he's got that too. Third generation of home building and of renovations. That's what you get. The two Kens, Ken Sr. started it. Ken Jr.'s been running it for a while. Now William's in the business. You've got 3 generations, over 80 years of wisdom that go into it, and they see all the little details in the big picture all at once. And if you've ever worked with them, you know they're there with you the rest of the way. As long as you did business with them, they feel you're all a part of the project. Go see what I'm talking about. Go to Ken Garland Custom Home Builders, and then give Ken a call. We take a break. Munsey's standing by down in Mississippi. We talk Tiger basketball in just a minute.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show?
No!
Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Here's something you don't see every day. It's a full-on brawl at Family Leisure. Oh, yeah. There's a battle of the brands happening right now through May the 10th with 7 different manufacturers all fighting it out for your business. Listen to this opening blow. Hot tubs starting at $34.99. Ouch! Then followed up with a mean right hook of swim spas starting at $16,999. That's a starting price. There are so many deals right now at Family Leisure, and the prices are just too low for me to even mention on the radio. One thing I can tell you, if you stop by Family Leisure and tell them you heard this on the radio, you're going to get a free cover lift with your spa purchase. But you better hurry in before all these great deals get knocked out. Technically, this is called the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo, but we're calling it the Battle of the Brands, happening now through May 10th at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
You are an adult. You can drink anywhere you want to. So why would you go to some chain bar when you could be one of the cool kids and go to Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown neighborhood bar? Things are hopping in downtown Memphis, and Bell Tavern is smack dab in the middle of it. You know where nothing is happening? A big, loud chain bar full of people that don't know about Bell Tavern. Come on, visit Bell Tavern and feel better than other people.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Cater country tune, Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust the Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo, Radio Gaga.
Jason Munz, Tiger beat writer extraordinaire on the U of M basketball team. He is standing by. He's ready to sort of dissect a new war of words between the two rivals left in this crazy conference, the American. That is UAB and Memphis over a big guy named Matt Mbole, who ended up signing with UAB after coming to Memphis. And I don't think, from everything I've heard, they were all that impressed with Mr. Matt Mbole. And then he took a swipe at them, and then there was retaliation by the U of M. And then now Andy Kennedy said, basically, we develop players. Memphis buys players. I kind of love this drama. Jason Munz, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I am here for the cinema. Like, I am absolutely here for the drama, and I have made no bones about that. Like, we were already moving in a good direction. Obviously, you had Jordan Bryson, the Memphis the guy from Memphis who Memphis was kind of involved with. They were somewhat interested. Point guard, smaller point guard, ended up going to Wichita State. So Memphis is going to see him later. And then KJ Tenner, who is another Memphis kid, another smaller point guard, who was at Murray State last year, is going to UTSA, and so Memphis is going to see him. And so, I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be storylines like going into the American. Like that's been the biggest knock on Memphis staying in the American, is there's no intrigue, there's no fun anymore. Well, then we get last night, and so you add everything that happened last night and over the past few days to this other stuff that I just mentioned, and it's like it's setting up to be a really spicy season, and I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it.
Well, you've been pretty spot on. You told us last week Cornelius Williams, the rebounder, was going to join the team. You felt pretty good about Tylik Weeks, the scorer. You compared him to David Jones. Both of them signed. Where do you think Memphis goes next? Obviously, it's not Matt Mbole. They still need a big. They still have two spots open.
Yeah, that's where they're going to go. They absolutely have to get at least one big. They just don't have. I mean, Cornelius Williams, he's 6'9". He's about 215, 220 right now, and they're going to try to beef him up. Like, I talked to his mom last week, and she told me that was one of the things that was a big part of the conversation when they were recruiting him, was that they were going to work very hard this off season to get him bulked up and beefed up. And it's not that he's not, in good shape. Like, he's in really, really good shape. He's very, very put together and very cut, but he's a little lean, and so they want to beef him up a little bit. But he's all they got in terms of like legitimate size and a legitimate post player. Like they have Jerry Dang, who's listed at 6'9", but he's more of a shooter. He's more of an outside, longer wing type guy. Not saying that he can't slide down and maybe do some stuff for you at the four, but he's never really been that guy. So you don't want to count on that too much. And so, yeah, outside of those two players, I think those are the only two guys they have who are taller than 6'7" on this roster. And so they absolutely have to go get themselves another true big, at least one, and perhaps use both their last two vacancies to address that.
I'm pretty sure, and I'll check with Penny. He's going to be a guest tomorrow at 10:25. I think he wants to keep flexibility like he did when he was able to get midseason Naquan Tomlin a couple of months, 2-3 years ago. I think he might keep that open, but is there an overseas guy who's out there that's a big at this point that could still help?
Yeah, I mean, there are some options. Obviously, international is an avenue that they explored last year and wound up getting Simon Majock, who did a couple of good things. Obviously, he's gone now. He's gone to Nevada. But that is an option. Looking for somebody overseas. Although, we're in early May now. I think anybody you can find overseas is going to be like another Simon Majock. It's not going to be somebody who can come in and start unless you just somehow find a needle in a haystack. But that is an option. And then there are other options still in the transfer portal. Peyton Marshall, 7 foot, 300 pounds, former 4-star guy who started his career at Missouri, spent last season at Georgia Tech, hasn't really played much, like significant minutes, but could be a big body that has a nice background. Somebody who maybe can be unlocked a little bit if he comes to Memphis. And there are others.
Just to prove Memphis can develop guys, let me point out Dane Danger for one. Just if Andy Kennedy's unaware of that, and by the way, who he shut down his Yaxel Lendenberg, and then by the way, Yaxel went to another coach and played pretty good.
Yeah, didn't get shut down very often at Michigan, did he? That whole thing is just so interesting to tout. The thing that about what Andy Kennedy tweeted, he basically throwing shade at Memphis for spending a lot of money and then propping themselves up as developers, kind of insinuating that they're better developers than Memphis. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like you can really get into it if you want to, but at the same time, you have to. You cannot ignore that. Since Penny has been here, I just looked this up. Since Penny has been here, he has had 9 players who have played games in the NBA, and he has had 11 players who have played 11 other players, not counting the 9,
played pro,
but who've played in the G League, who played G League games, or are still currently playing G League games. So it's that's a tough argument to make, but. Again.
And by the way, what is Penny's record against Andy Kennedy? I don't think he wants to go there either. Andy.
5-2. 5-2.
Oh, I would have thought it was more than that, but okay, 5-2 is still pretty good. I'll take 5 out of 7 every day. You also did a very cool story. You asked a bunch of different coaches and you gave them anonymity, so this is confidential. But you asked them to sort of rank the portal class. How did that come out?
I mean, everybody I talked to basically unanimously was like, "This is a far better, roster build than last season."
Well, 13 wins is hardly a standard to go.
Yeah, right. That's not saying a ton. And I didn't ask anybody. Well, compare it to 2 years ago. Compare it to the roster build from 2 years ago with Tyree Steiner, PJ Haggerty. I didn't do that because. That's another tough standard. But everybody, like I said, unequivocally, everybody's like, it's far better than last year. You can, the thing that most everybody said was like, you can tell what they're doing. Like you can see that Memphis had a plan and they stuck to it for the most part, it appears, and they did it quickly. And these were all things that, Penny and Ed Scott said they were going to do when they sat down in front of the media after the terrible season. They said they were going to act fast. They said they were going to, be more intentional about what they were, how they were going to go about their business, and they were going to, look at different ways to, be better in terms of talent evaluation and character evaluation and all those things. And again, like everybody from the outside looking in, there are a lot of coaches, both head coaches and assistant coaches at the high major level, the mid major level, are telling me, the ones that I talk to, they're telling me that they can plainly see what Penny is trying to do. And, a lot of people talked about how it was the biggest difference from last year to this year is that there's just not much overlap. That what they're adding are, guys who know exactly who they are, know exactly what they bring to the table, and each one, there's not 2 or 3 guys who do the exact same type of thing, and that is a plus. And so it was. I think it's always a valuable thing to get objective input from people who know what they're talking about, and that was the other thing. Is like I didn't just go find coaches who don't have any firsthand knowledge of these players. Like the people that I talked to coached against and schemed, put together schemes to play these guys in actual games last year. So they've seen them with their own 2 eyes. They've scouted them. They've game planned for them, so they know what they're talking about.
Yep. Next week we may talk a little bit about starters and rotation and that sort of thing, and maybe there will be a completion of the roster. We'll find out. That is for sure. Jason, as always, we appreciate your time. Stay dry on this rainy day.
I know. Thanks. You too.
All right. That's Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal. He's brought to you by Miramichi. Oh, I love going to Miramichi. I played there Sunday. I've never seen Miramichi's greens this good this early. And here's something I never talk about. I love their carts. They got new carts maybe a year ago. Their carts have a ball washer, club cleaner on the carts. So you don't even have to, you just, after you've finished your hole, go wash your clubs. If you've used your sand wedge, then go wash your golf ball. So it's perfect. It's great. It's just a little thing. It's just a great experience. It's 18 beautiful holes that are competitive. We've seen NCAAs. We've seen AJGA events at that course. You can go way back and play it well over 7,000, or you can move up like I have had to do over the last couple of years, and it's still competitive. It's always beautiful, and it's 25 minutes. That's it. From my house in East Memphis, it's Woodstock, not Millington. You want the best practice facilities? You want a great clubhouse? You want a great view from the deck on top of 9 and 18? Please go enjoy the total golf experience at Miramichi. That'll do it for us tomorrow. Full show. Dennis Philippi, we make our golf picks. Joe Dank is off, but we've got Penny Hardaway at 10:25 tomorrow. We'll see you then. Johnny Radio's next. Have a great day, everybody. Go vote.